안녕하세요.
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 안녕하세요. 그리고 미국 사람이에요.
그리고 저는 영국 사람이에요.
그리고 우리는 Korean video homework 시작했습니다.
안녕하세요. 선현우입니다. Hello everyone. Hyun-woo here. How are you today?
Hyun-woo teaches Korean to viewers all over the world with his wildly popular YouTube channel, Talk to Me in Korean.
If you want to learn more Korean, please visit our website at talktomeinkorean.com. And if you want to get our books and ebooks, please visit mykoreanstore.com, which is our online bookstore.
Since the channel launched in 2009, he's welcomed over 500,000 subscribers and over 100 million accumulated views. What's his secret to becoming such a popular instructor? We hear his story on Heart to Heart. A Korean language instructor to 8 million foreigners around the globe. Today's guest, Hyun-woo, helps foreigners learn the Korean language through his engaging YouTube videos. Hello and welcome to Heart. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, good to be here. Thanks for having me. My name is Hyun-woo, and I'm the founder and CEO of a website called talktomeinkorean.com, which is a place where people can learn Korean mostly for free. And we have helped up to, over 8 million people around the world learn to speak the Korean language.
That's right. That's amazing.
Well, thank you.
We'll be talking more about your website as well as your YouTube channel
Yes.
In detail, but I'd like to thank you once again for joining us despite your very busy schedule.
Thank you.
So as you've mentioned and as I have mentioned in the introduction, you're teaching Korean to foreigners all over the world.
Yes.
As we mentioned, 8 million foreigners, especially through your website and your YouTube channel. It's called Talk to Me in Korean.
Yeah.
So could you first of all tell us about your website as well as your YouTube channel?
Okay, so the name first. The name Talk to Me in Korean was made because I wanted to also help a lot of people who came to Korea to either work or to travel or to make friends or to, meet the love of their life. Get used to speaking Korean, and one of the hurdles that they experienced first when they started talking to people was most people just talk to them in English or in whatever language they spoke back in their home country.
Yes.
So they had this frustration of wanting to tell people, please talk to me in Korean. I'm here to speak the Korean language. So hence the name. And Talk to Me in Korean is a website where people can learn Korean from scratch to all the way to the advanced level, in many cases without spending any money at all.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yes.
That's a
mostly for
huge
free.
bonus, yes.
Yes. Hello everyone, Hyun-woo here. You're watching 7 random Korean expressions by talktomeinkorean.com. 지금 초등학교에 있어요. 초등학교. 저는 초등학교를 졸업한 지 아주 오래됐어요. 그리고 초등학교 앞에는 운동장이 있어요. 운동장. 집 안에 운동장이 있었으면 좋겠어요.
What is 좀 and when is it used? I've seen it in sentences like 메뉴판 좀 주세요 and 사람이 좀 많은 게 아니었다. What does it mean? 물 주세요 in a really cute, nice way. It will sound very good. But if you say 물 주세요 with a very stern face, stern look on your face, you can sound rude. So by adding 좀 there, you automatically sound much more polite, and the person actually hearing the request will feel a little more willing to do it for you. So 물 좀 주세요. 물 좀 주세요. Okay?
메뉴판 주세요.
메뉴판 주세요.
메뉴판 좀 주세요.
메뉴판 좀 주세요.
이거 열어주세요.
이거 열어주세요.
이것 좀 열어주세요.
So why do you think that your videos or your video lessons are particularly popular among, Korean language learners?
Well, as you know, a lot of people do actually come to Korea to study abroad, take courses at universities here in Korea,
Yes.
mainly in Seoul. But the majority of Korean learners around the world, they don't have the luxury or the opportunity to come to Korea. They can't quit their jobs, they can't leave their family members,
Yeah.
they can't just come to Korea and pick up the language.
And there's
just
that
because,
financial burden as well.
Exactly, just because they want to learn the language. So most people are actually learning on their own. And when you're learning a language on your own, you are lonely. You don't feel motivated to continue learning every single day. And I think the reason that we've had this much success with our website is because we are all good looking, just kidding, but we're also very friendly teachers. We are very easily accessible. We are on social media platforms, many more social media platforms that you might be aware of. And we always talk to people and encourage them. Whenever people post a picture of our textbooks on their desk, we always compliment them. Hey, good job. Thank you for studying with our books. And more power to you. So that way people feel more drawn to this country, this culture,
Yeah.
and they give up less easily, I think.
That reminds me of when I was in elementary school. You know, in elementary school, if you draw something or if
Yeah.
you write something, your
Exactly.
teacher always, adds that sticker or a good,
Yeah.
they write nice things about it and then they encourage you.
Yeah.
And it feels wonderful. It feels great. It keeps you going.
Yeah, it feels wonderful, but with language learning,
Uh-huh.
oftentimes we don't get that kind of gratification or
Yeah.
recognition from our peers, especially as adults. So we tend to provide that to our users and students.
So I think I read that you're very detail-oriented, which is one of the many elements that makes your channel wildly popular. And I heard that you make sure to explain even the most trivial grammatical details that can be easily, overlooked.
Yes.
Could you give us an example of this?
Okay, so for example, it's about the pronunciation difference of ne and de.
Oh my goodness, I still can't get it.
Really?
I still don't get it.
So apparently a lot of people are wondering about the difference or why whenever Korean people say yes, which is ne, the romanization is ne, but it always sounds like de, de.
네,
So
네.
we made a video where I explained why that is and how to distinguish those sounds, and that's the most popular video on our YouTube channel as of today.
When you want to say or practice how to say yes in Korean, the romanized form is ne, ne, and you think, okay, ne, it's the way it should sound, and then you say ne, 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 ne. But then when you actually hear someone, a Korean person, saying yes, which is ne, it sounds different, and it even sounds like de to your ear. In Korean, when you say it, ne, yes, you slightly bite your tongue. So in other words, you put your tongue between your upper and lower teeth. Ne, ne, ne. And then on top of that, you add more abruptedness to that, and then de, ne, ne. It sounds more like de sometimes. Can you guys explain in which context does 뛰다 or 뜁니다, basically 뛰다, the verb is 뛰다 in the dictionary form, 뛰다 mean run or jump? Yes, it can be confusing. It is confusing for some Koreans as well in some cases because 뛰다 means either or both to run and to jump. So for example, in a situation like this, it can mean to run. And also in a situation like this one, it means to jump.
So you started to offer Korean tutorials, Korean lessons to viewers since 2007.
Yes.
This is through your website or your blog?
Yeah, I actually started in 2004, 1 year after I finished my military service. I've been running Talk to Me in Korean for the past 9 years. But before then, I had several personal blogs, project blogs, like pilot blogs, where I would explain how to get a nice 하숙집, homestay, boarding house, or how to use the Korean or Seoul subway system, things like that. And whenever I had a new idea, I would create a new kind of series, a new kind of podcast series or a blog. And then I would scrap them and then make a new site. Because I was really passionate about it. I wanted to make a better and a better website every single time. And now I'm very happy with what we have at talktomeinkorean.com.
Yeah. Of course, there were moments of, hardships, but, there's always on the other side, there are moments of fulfillment and joy.
Yeah.
So are there any episodes, any stories you'd like to share with us on the show?
So, of course, there have been many instances where people come up to me. Usually, for example, out in the streets, in Hongdae or Hapjeong, the area, I would be walking on the crosswalk and somebody would point at me, hey, you, I know some Korean because of you.
Oh, really?
They must have wanted to say something, of course, but we were just passing by. And that awkward line is a great way to express their gratitude, I think. Or I also heard from people who got jobs because they spoke Korean, learned Korean through our website. And also we hear from people who get married to Korean people because they now can speak Korean.
Right.
Yeah, so those are really wonderful, beautiful stories that we're very happy about.
Oh, wow. You've done wonders.
Well, I'm happy
You've done
to
wonders.
agree.
Yeah, because I think, you did talk about, married couples.
Yeah.
People often say in order to learn a foreign language, you either have to study really hard or you have to go to that country to actually experience the culture and meet, the locals to learn the language. Or another great way is to make a friend or actually date someone from that country. Or
Exactly.
Yeah. So obviously you've helped couples get married.
Yeah, I hope I have
succeed.
somehow contributed to world peace.
All right. Now, let's talk about how you, of course, teach Korean, which is your mother tongue, but you seem to have a thing for languages.
I love learning languages.
Yes, foreign languages. So how many languages can you freely or comfortably converse in?
Okay, so my strongest languages are Korean, of course, and English. And I have translated two Japanese books into Korean, published books.
I'm gonna count.
And now I can translate and travel with my family, translate for my family when I travel in French, Spanish, and Chinese. And I have studied more before, but I've been so busy recently just teaching Korean. But I love picking up new languages and being able to converse with people, local people, when I travel.
Our skills often get very rusty. Say you used to play tennis or you play tennis very well, but if you don't play the sport for a year or two or as often as you'd like, we tend to forget and our skills become rusty. But how do you, and the same goes for languages.
Yes. So my Japanese, my French, I would say, have become rustier than before. But the way I maintain the similar level is by actively calling someone who only speaks French or going online looking for language exchange partners. And personally, for me, just talking to someone in French for 5 minutes and moving on to Japanese for 5 minutes, it doesn't really help. So I have to sit down with someone who speaks only that language for maybe 3 hours, 2 hours over coffee or dinner. And I feel like the language that I used to know all comes back to me, back into my brain. So I sometimes do that whenever I feel some nostalgia for that language.
That's
It's like traveling to that country.
Yeah. It's quite impressive because you have learned all these foreign languages on your own. You're self-taught. You taught yourself. So what got you into learning so many different languages in the first place, in the very beginning?
Well, ever since I was a child, I was fascinated by how people have different dialects and accents. So I'm from Gwangju in the southern area. And I think I quickly realized that my parents had a different kind of accent from the people on TV.
Okay.
So those were two dialects of the Korean language. And my mother's relatives are all in Busan. So whenever we went to Busan when I was 6 years old or 7 years old, I also realized that they also spoke another kind of language. It's the same language, but with twist.
It's like having a southern accent.
Exactly.
Right?
So I was exposed to these 3 different types of the Korean language. So I was fascinated. I never learned to speak English until I was 17 years old.
Uh-huh.
So when I was exposed to more English classes in high school, I thought, okay, I've been exposed to this language, but I've never actually made any effort to learn to speak it. So why not now? And I just didn't really enjoy the feeling of not knowing this language, even though I have dozens of books on the
Yes.
subject. So I started just tackling it, and it happened. I don't want to make it sound simple, but it was thousands of hours studying.
Yes.
But I just didn't like the idea that I didn't know this language. So whenever I heard someone delightfully having a conversation in Spanish, I wanted to understand. On Talk to Me in Korean, we get comments in many languages, especially Spanish. So when I started getting comments in Spanish, yeah, I had to be able to read the comments, what people were talking about me, whether they were talking nice things about me or saying bad things about me.
Of course, they were saying nice things.
They were, yeah. Only nice things.
Wow. So you actually started at 17.
17.
And I understand that you've never studied abroad
No.
in an English-speaking country. So this was when you were in high school in
Yes.
Korea and you started studying on your own because you just simply wanted to learn the language.
Yeah, I wanted to go from here to there.
Right.
I didn't want to stay here in I don't know, in a place where I didn't know English.
Right.
저는 미국에서 살고 있어요. 그리고 한국어 공부하고 있어요.
저는 런던에 살고 있어요. 그리고 저는 화학 공부하고 있어요.
월요일, 화요일, 수요일, 수요일, 목요일, 금요일, 금요일, 토요일, 일요일. Those are the days of the week in Korean. Yeah, so.
삼겹살 먹기 전에 뭐 했어요?
볼링 치고 갔어요. 경월들을 이겼어요, 제가. 경월들은 잘하시긴 한데 저를 못 이겼어요.
배고프죠?
배고파요.
많이 먹어요.
I think it's amazing what you do. You bring the Korean language to people who wouldn't even have access to it otherwise. And you do it for free. And not only that, you make your own textbooks, you have a TV show, you have a radio show, you run a YouTube channel. Do you even sleep?
I just want to give a shout out to Arirang and to everybody who's watching. And I want to give a big thanks and give some praise to the one and only Hyun-woo. Honestly, I do not have enough adjectives to describe this guy. He's helped me so much through my Korean learning journey and through Talk to Me in Korean website. He's changed my life.
So you're very well known as a Korean language instructor to many foreigners, as we've mentioned several times, all over the world. But you are also well known in the Korean community for teaching English to local Koreans.
Yes. I wouldn't say-
Despite never having studied in an English-speaking country, as we've mentioned.
Well, I don't think you should avoid living in an English-speaking country, of course. If you have the opportunity, you should totally go. I just never had the opportunity, and I wanted to be able to speak the language despite not having lived overseas. I'm not against living overseas for the sake of learning the language. But like I said, I think learning a language can be lonely. And so what I'm trying to do with my activities of teaching the Korean language and also teaching English to Korean people is to help people realize how fun it is to learn a new language, because for kids, just mimicking a random foreign sounding word is fun. But somehow, as adults, we are stressed out about our TOEIC score, or for Korean, we have the test called TOPIK, TOPIK score. Somehow it's stressful. It should be fun. So the reason that I'm also doing English education shows here in Korea is to, help people realize it is fun, and also let them know that it is possible. A person like myself can do it.
Yes.
I did it, so you can also do the same or even become better than me. I know my English is not perfect, but I just put myself out there, and I also show people what phrases I use, how I can express certain ideas that they might be wondering about. And that way I hope I can lead people in a better direction.
And one more thing, people like me, I guess I could describe myself as a lazy person.
Well,
There are so many things that I would like to try out, so many things I want to learn, but I always seem to come up with the excuse of I don't have time, I'm too tired. And you seem to keep yourself so busy, like every second of the day. So how do you do it?
well, I actually...
What kind of, I guess, tips or advice would you like to give to people like me?
You just need 48 hours in a day. That's it.
That's impossible.
I wish. But I don't know if I have a secret to it, but ever since, I think having learned English as my first foreign language is still helping me. Because I was lonely in the quest of learning the language, learning this language, I also learned how to monitor my progress. How am I doing? Exactly how many words did I remember today by checking with my flashcards? How many pull-ups did I do this week? I've gotten into the habit of monitoring things. And by monitoring, of course, you're spending some time, it's extra energy, but you get a clearer picture of where you are. And without knowing where you are, you're lost. You can never somehow expect to lose weight, somehow become fit by doing random sets here and there.
Right.
You need to know exactly how many push-ups you will want to do today, or how many sets at least. So monitoring, I think, helps. I have a Rubik's Cube in my backpack right now, in my car right now, because I want to learn how to do it. And I'm planning to spend 5 minutes each day just deciphering this mystery. Yeah.
You're amazing. Your passion is amazing.
I want to learn, get better.
Your energy is amazing. That was great advice. I think I'll give it a shot. Yeah. So keep a log of what you have done and how far you've come so far to kind of remind yourself, right?
Yeah.
To keep track.
Yeah. If you ask any rich person who is self-made, how did you become rich? No one will say, I don't know, I just spent my money in whatever way. I somehow ended up being rich. No one will say that. They did things consciously.
Yeah.
So with any kind of self-development, you have to do things systematically and consciously.
Okay.
That's the only way you will grow, I think.
We can do it, everybody. Now we're down to our final question. I'd like to ask you about maybe your dreams, your goals that you hope to achieve in the future.
I have many personal goals. I want to travel more. I have a quick trip coming up real soon with my son and my wife. But talk to me in Korean-wise. I want to, since we've been teaching the Korean language for 9 years, only in English, we want to expand into other languages. So if all goes as planned, I think we will start teaching the Korean language in Spanish. We're actually in the middle of creating a course in Spanish. I am teaching the course in Spanish. It's really nerve-wracking because I've only spoken Spanish with my friends. So again, I'm putting myself out there. I might make a ton of mistakes in my courses, Korean courses in Spanish, but I want to expand it to other languages too. I want to show people that if I'm making this much effort, you should also do it because it's good for you. And yeah.
I want to thank you so much for giving us this opportunity today. I have mentioned that you are passionate, and I'm going to say it one last time. And, you know, you seem to inspire so many people, not only to learn a foreign language, not only to learn Korean or English, but through our program, I'm sure that you've given a lot of our viewers inspiration and motivation or even hope to actually, you know, start doing something and to set your why goal if there is something that you hope to accomplish. So thank you once again for joining us on Heart to Heart, and best of luck to you in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.